Beyond and hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Dorbush and I am joined here with the wonderful Bear Courtney.
Beyond.
For another Beyondversation, he loves it so much. We're here to talk about the fact that PSN name changes are finally happening and what we think that means for PlayStation going forward, especially as we know they're finally admitting they're working on a PlayStation 4 successor, the PS5 or whatever it may be called.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, so the first big thing I think to note is the context of these name changes. The name changes are happening shortly after PlayStation announced they're finally allowing crossplay. They started with Fortnite and that they're beta testing that and seeing how that works and may adapt that to other games. That was obviously a really big policy change that we haven't seen from them up until this point in the generation.
Yeah.
That was very cool to see, I thought.
Yeah, they're being very fluid recently, and it's weird because of like all of these kind of cool announcements, and we'll see how they play out later, happen on just random release, like a random Wednesday or whatever, and not like a big announcement thing.
But always after we record episodes of Beyond, so thank you for that, PlayStation. But we're also seeing this in the context of, I think, a thing that we don't necessarily use as much, but a large PlayStation audience does, of PS Now, and being able to download PS4 and PS2 games to play them offline with a PS Now subscription. That is a really huge thing for that service and for streaming games on PlayStation.
Because they're trying to kind of get closer to Xbox Game Pass and all that stuff, so they're trying to adjust little things here and there.
Yeah, so we're seeing all of these changes sort of happen in the last year. They're not having PSX, so they're able to sort of like modulate these announcements as they go. I think a lot of this is sort of setting the stage for the PS5, essentially. We are getting near the end of the life cycle of the PS4, whether that is 2019, 2020, or even a little later.
We're definitely in the final few years.
Yes, so I think what we're seeing a lot right now is the idea that they can't make good on all of the years that PS4 didn't have these services, but at least launching them now lets them work out bugs and try to at least acknowledge that this will be part of PlayStation going forward.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I think that's definitely what
and definitely for like the launch of PS5, it'll be good for, you know, they're kind of announcing these things like a little like to the PlayStation community and not to the community as a whole, and so it'll be nice when the PlayStation 5 or whatever that is launches, and they can say like. And it has all these things. You can change your name. You can download. You can use PS Now and download games, and you can also have crossplay and all that stuff.
I think it definitely them wanting to structure this stuff so it's there from the start of the PS5. My question is though, we're seeing a lot of caveats with the PSN name changes, with the beta test for crossplay not being accessible for all games. The PSN name changes may not work with all the games too, and there may be issues. And obviously stuff like PS Now is the first step in a service that's been available for a few years. Do you think they're going to improve this stuff when it gets to PS5? Are they like working out the kinks now to make it better when it's on PS5? Or are we going to see issues on PS4 transfer to PS5?
Yes and no. I think definitely like PlayStation Now will be an improved thing once PlayStation 5 launches. I think the like sort of being able to download PS4 and PS2 games is the first step to downloading all games like PS3. And I think once we get to the PS5, I think that might be their main sort of entryway of doing backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
But when it comes to name changes and crossplay, that's where it gets a little hairier because of crossplay. Like those two things kind of feed into each other, and I don't think name changes is really going to be improved a whole bunch at like what they've announced and like how they're like all these little systems that you have to go through to change it, and some permanent stuff that might be affected and all this weird little stuff. I don't know if any of that's really going to be improved. And they also talk about bugs of certain games that might not work with all these name changes. I think that'll definitely be especially so for games that you choose to crossplay with. And I think that's where it's going to get a little weird. So I don't know how and if they're actually going to improve those two systems, but I think I'm more hopeful on PS Now than I am name changes and crossplay.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff obviously that we can't know on the back end technically about how this stuff works in detail, but obviously as these things are actually put into practice, we will find out a lot more, and we will make sure to tell you all about that. Obviously, if you want to know more about PlayStation, right here on IGN, you can go to beyond.ign.com every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific for new episodes of our weekly show, Beyond. And for everything else PlayStation, of course, you're already in the right place, IGN.
Beyond.